I bet on myself. Yeah, I bet on myself.
Yeah, I bet on myself. Yeah, I bet on myself. I don't need you, I do it myself. Yeah, I bet on myself.
Yeah, I bet on myself.
Yeah, I bet on myself. Okay, dream so big that they think I'm crazy. Let out the beast, no, they can't tame me. Don't play with me, better mind your business. I cannot stop now, I ain't finished. I'ma keep on going till I got that. Okay, the way that I'ma do it, they can't top that. No way. Critics trying to hate, but I don't talk back, I know that. Plotting on the kid with the bull, tell him all that. I'm the one that I'm a gambler.
Welcome to Week 17's edition of For Fantasy's Sake, presented by Clint's Drafthouse Pizza and Grill on the For Frequency's Sake podcast network, presented by Durham Remodeling, Ryan Allison Tattoo, and Jared Zook Country Financial. I'm today's host, DJ Jarvis. I'm joined by Dan the Man Hancock, and over there is Betting Cheese. How you guys doing today?
Doing good. I'm ready for this terrible day of football.
You know, we're a third of the way through Week 17 already somehow, because we had, all those we had 3 games yesterday, 1 game on Thursday, and then, well, if you can consider Thursday's game even a game, and then the 2 slaughters on Christmas Day. So
say we went from like can we talk about it? It's like the only thing I could say as a positive would be we started with those ugly games on Christmas Day. It got uglier on Thursday. The first game Saturday was horrific. And then we get like arguably one of the best games of the year with that overtime game for the Bengals. Then you get a really good close scoring game in Arizona. And then we're stuck with battle of the backups all day.
Great second game aided by coaching malpractice. So
100%. Like that. Like they just need to show that video to Zach Taylor right before they fire him and just be like, this is why.
I've got a buddy playing in a championship game. We were texting during the game. He's got Chase Brown and his opponent's got Joe Burrow, and he's like, so Chase Brown, they have him go down, he gets hurt, and then they have Burrow do the QBC, and then because they did that, they then give up a touchdown for Burrow to get another passing touchdown in overtime.
You know what's funny? I had the over in that game, and I bet at the beginning of the week, and I was like, this is going to be a very high-scoring game. I saw the first half, was about to cash out, and it was like, 10-3? And I was like, you know what? This seems like some stupid shit where they're going to get caught up, and it's going to be like an overtime game or something. So I live bet overtime at like plus 1,000, and they got the over and the plus 1,000.
Gotta love those.
I saw something like T. Higgins had like 18 PPR points in overtime. So he was having like he's having like the quietest 2 touchdown game of all time.
Dude, it was
just up.
So I use a couple of the projection systems I use. You just type in a player's name and it'll show you like all the bets that there's some kind of edge on. And one of them, it said T. Higgins 3+ touchdowns. And I was like, yeah, okay. Like, I guess like you want to put 10 cents on it. I was like, all right, whatever. I'm just ignoring that. I'm just going to take it for a touchdown. And then I looked back and I was like, damn, if I had bet like $10 on 3 touchdowns, I wouldn't even be here. I'd be in Cancun right now.
Speaking of playing in fantasy, there's been a lot of talk on Twitter about how everything's been crappy this week with injuries and guys sitting out. And do you guys think there's like any credence to moving up the playoffs in your fantasy leagues up a week and not playing in Week 17?
One of my leagues, we're moving it up to previous week because it starts to get to the point that it's questionable and you don't know if teams are going to even play people.
Yeah, we even had the. Go ahead. Sorry.
Once you hit Week 17 is where you get like, it's like they said it on Hard Knocks. It's not fighting for to win. It's fighting for your job. So you're going to see a lot of coaches just saying, hey, like if I can get this rookie player who hasn't done the ball, promise might hire. But yeah, I think once week 17, 18 hits is like where it's really hard to start looking at, is this team playing for a playoff position? Is this team just saying, hey, our quarterback's got a partially ripped muscle in his hand. Let's just hand the ball off 50 times this week and we'll sit him next week because we need him for the playoffs.
I mean, there's potential that had the Texans had a pulse on Thursday or on Wednesday that Josh Allen wouldn't have played today because they would have had, all of their potential scenarios wrapped up. They would have been locked into the 2 seed. And though I like going to week 17, I don't know why. I think probably just that's what we've done traditionally, gone up to the second to last week of the season. I do think moving it up to 14, if the NFL continues to give bye weeks that late, it does give credence to give more meaning to the regular season in fantasy. Because realistically, I've always said, okay, you've got to win, 7 games or 8 games with the 14 to get in the playoffs. And once you're in the playoffs, anything can happen. But if you're playing in the playoffs in a week where there's a bye week, it gives more meaning to the regular season to get that, your league's bye or buys.
If you're a Jalen Hurts fantasy owner, I think after the last 3 years, you want it to end by week 15. Once it hits week 15 is when he always gets hurt. And then you got to either commit to getting his backup or just pray to God, the guy you're playing just doesn't go off.
Isn't that it might just be the curse of the Eagles quarterbacks going back to when Carson Wentz tore his ACL against the Rams?
Maybe. I don't know. All I know is the last 3 years in a row, I've been victim of Jalen Hurts getting hurt in week 15. And
Bitter.
Yeah, I'm fucking tired of it.
I think we all have that big thing from our fantasy past, or especially with you guys with the betting side, where you're just never going to forget that bad beat. You're just always going to remember. Mine came in, I think, 2012. I had an undefeated season in my family league, just to lose in the semifinals. Josh Freeman was playing the Saints when the Saints were super bad defensively, and turned the ball over 5 times in the first half. Did I say Jameis Winston? I meant Josh Freeman if I said Jameis Winston.
You said
Freeman. Yeah, Josh Freeman.
Yeah, no. So, Freeman was playing, and then that was Matt Ryan's MVP year. He goes off, throws 4 touchdowns in the first half against the Giants, who were decent defensively, and I lose by 5 points. And if he did just one less interception, one more touchdown,
The crazy thing is I feel like in fantasy over the last 3 years, I've somehow got stuck with the same team, not meaning to. It's just where I get drafted and I'm always in the same board. Because after last year, I was like, you know what? I was like, I've done the Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown stack every year since they got joined together. And I was like, you know what? I'm going for these guys. My players get sniped, and I realize I have the next 2 picks, and there's 2 good value players on the board, and it's Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown.
Maybe you should log out from rounds 3 to 7 or so, and just.
I'm still salty. For you. Remember did I tell you the thing that Doug messed me up in our ESPN league with Doug?
No, I haven't.
Doug got quick picked as I was setting up a queue, and it accidentally made me pick Mostert in round 3.
Oof.
And I lost to fucking Doug in the playoffs.
That's fantastic.
Doug, I love you.
Speaking of drafting, who would you guys say would be your QB1 from this past season, whether that's on, points with Lamar, Josh Allen, or a value-based pick? Who's your MVP at quarterback, fantasy MVP at quarterback?
I mean, it's got to be Josh, right?
Yeah.
The dude threw a touchdown pass to himself, and he's averaging 50 fantasy points a game over a 3-week span.
I'll see your Josh Allen, and I will raise you Baker Mayfield.
That's fair.
Drafted as QB 21, and he's at QB 5 going into the finals.
I think if you're looking at someone almost a most improved compared to where they were at, then I would say
I'm just saying value based.
Yeah.
That's where my vote would go, just because obviously to get Lamar, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, you're spending a top 2-3 round pick to grab him, and Baker Mayfield, you might have gotten him in just before you took your kicker.
Well, if we're going that route, then I'm putting Sam Darnold in the ring there.
I was going to
Hey,
say,
brother,
he was just like,
vote for however
if
you
you
wanna
need a
vote.
backup, and like he hasn't been, the best, but I mean, if you look at
Yeah.
what he's done compared to where he was projected as just a career backup,
His ADP was 210. So
and he's
the
probably
19th,
top
19th
20?
round. He was drafted 31 quarterback, and he is
around
number 10.
6.
QB 10.
Yeah.
So
But I think if you're looking at like when I look at that, I look at expectations, and the thing is Josh Allen has been the most consistent player out of all of them. Like, we've seen bad games from Lamar. I have not seen a game Josh Allen's played where I've thought of like,
Josh Allen had terrible games against Houston and Baltimore.
Right. Take those two out. He still put up a decent.
Well, yeah.
Fantasy wise, he still put up a decent fantasy number. But the thing is, it's like, with guys like him and like Mahomes and Jackson, it's almost like the Mike Trout MVP argument. He's just so consistent. They're so consistently good that when they have an average game, it looks like they suck.
You want them to win the Triple Crown every year?
Yeah. We legit have another version of Peyton, Brady, and like Big Ben in these three.
Yeah, that's fine. As long as Mahomes keeps being the Brady and just winning all the Super Bowls, I'm fine with that.
Well, yeah, the refs give him all the calls, so I guess I guess it works out the same way.
Who's our running back? I mean, for me, it's got to be Saquon. Both value based and points based too.
Yeah, it's got to be Saquon. I've been getting a lot of crap from Lydia for telling her not to draft Derrick Henry with her first pick. So I mean, he's up there, but yeah, it's Saquon. Derrick Henry kind of had a dip, and Saquon's like 200 yards away from the record.
I'd even throw Gibbs for a good value.
Yeah. I would agree there. Yeah, Gibbs at the end of the first round, he's going to finish top 5 running back.
Worst value,
currently RB3.
Can we talk about 4 years in a row now? The person who was the consensus number 1 overall pick has been hurt or sucked.
It's been like 5 straight years. Like that's been that way.
Jonathan Taylor, Jefferson, McCaffrey the last 3 years. Jonathan Taylor is the only one who played consistently, and he averaged 40 yards a game as a number 1 pick.
Yeah, it's nuts. So
if I get number 1 pick next year, I'm trading it. I don't care.
Right? Just be like, yeah, I'll boot this. Remember Joe in the staff league? He's like, if I don't get first pick, I'm going to be mad. And then he gets first pick, and he probably – no, he didn't take CMC. He took Tyreek. And, yeah, I mean, you might as well take
CMC. He's like 4-8. He got booted from the playoffs.
Wide receiver MVP?
I mean, it's
I
hard not to say
go Chase, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say Jefferson. I'll stand up for Jefferson.
Hey, that's fine. I mean, it's gotta be Chase.
Although
Jordan would love this guy,
right? Yeah. Are you Jordan's not watching right now. He's on his way to Minneapolis for the game tonight.
Oh, I almost bought a ticket
this afternoon, I guess.
by myself.
How far of a drive is it for you?
Like 4.5.
I was close the Saturday before. The Saturday before Christmas, buying a ticket to go to Kansas City, but the 5 hours is what killed me. Like, I can't spend 5 hours in the car by myself.
And then driving back after that.
No.
Yep.
I was gonna buy a ticket to the Giants game, but then I realized I didn't hate myself. So
probably get good value.
No, you can't, bro. Like, even the top level of that stadium, where it's right next to the river, the wind's blowing, it's freezing cold. It's still like $100-something per ticket.
Oh, no.
I'm not paying that.
You couldn't pay me $100
to watch Drew Lock versus Joe Flacco. No, get that shit out. No.
And our last one, tight end MVP this year.
Definitely not Kelsey.
My vote's going to Brock Bowers.
Yeah,
I mean,
gotta be Brock
Kelsey
Bowers.
was still tight end 4.
Yeah.
Kelsey was mediocre.
Yeah, but
still
Kelsey's reign as the best tight end in the league is over now.
Oh, that's fine. Dude's 34. It's fine.
Yeah. If Joe was here, I would say Isaiah likely just to piss him off. Because no, it's got to be Brock Bowers. I mean, he's 4 catches and 50 yards away from breaking the tight end record. He's averaging 10 plus targets a game every single game. Yeah, and I think that's a guy next year I might avoid because second year players always have the dip.
Yeah,
and I think everyone's going to be so high on him after this year.
You Sam Laporta had the injury, but yeah, he dropped down to tight end 11 after his huge year.
I would say you could also put Trey McBride. If Trey McBride could score a touchdown before yesterday, you could put him in that conversation. Because, I mean, he was getting, 65, 70 yards per game.
But he was drafted as tight end 4. So, I mean, he kind of finished around where he was picked. Bowers' ADP was tight end 11, 95th pick.
Yeah, next year he'll probably go by the second round. Or third round.
Oh yeah, I mean Kelsey's ADP was 22. I had to expect Bowers gets drafted around there next year.
Yeah.
Anybody who you guys are definitely? I know you're saying you're staying away from Bowers. I guess we've got that later. So kind of keep that in mind of guys that you definitely want to draft, definitely want to stay away from. I think we kind of all missed the boat on Saquon, Derrick Henry, and Joe Mixon this year.
Well, see, I'm going to be curious about next year is if you don't get a top 5 running back in the first round, do you go no running back strategy and just commit to a bunch of, because it's and I
bunch of guys
said
that
it,
split carries. Yeah,
I said it last year where it was the fantasy pros always has their tiers godlike, mid-level. The difference between the top 10 and then 11 through 20 in receivers is, it's still a good distance, but it's not as much compared to the top 5 running backs versus running backs 6 through 10.
Yeah.
I mean, other than looking at the guys who were the top 2 rounds in ADP, other than McCaffrey and Pacheco, we were kind of right on. Bijan, Breece Hall, Saquon, Jonathan Taylor, Jahmyr Gibbs, Kyron, and then ETN.
Right, and then once you drop down to that next tier, it's Josh Jacobs and
Jacobs, Cook, Rashad White.
Yeah, and Rashad White's losing his job after this year to Bucky Irving.
James Conner, Aaron Jones, all guys who had decent years. Even Najee Harris, you could have gotten him at 71. So,
but I think with running backs, it's more of the conversation of do you want to risk your guy having mid-level game after game, or do you want to take the top 5 guys? Yeah. If my running back selection is going to have to be guys who might go off for 30 or they might go off for 10, then I'm going to go double, maybe triple wide receiver. Hell, I might go double wide receiver and get Josh Allen with my 3rd pick just to go ahead and secure him, and then take some running backs in 4, 5, and 6.
You could have got Chase Brown at pick 108, and he's
that's what I'm saying. See, Bucky Irving probably wasn't even a top or a first 7 round, 8 round draft pick, and he's.
I think in my dynasty league, I picked him up as an undrafted free agent, after our rookie draft. So,
wow.
And Bucky Irving in standard and regular leagues, pick 181. So let's head to commercial. On the backside, we'll answer Dylan Fink's question. We'll be right back.
For frequency's sake, has you covered on all things sports. From the squared circle to the hardwood and the gridiron to the speedway, we've got something for everyone. Walk down the aisle with the boys from Cards Subject to Change every Sunday as they take a deep dive into everything pro wrestling. Head on over to the hardwood with Doug Green and Watching the W each week for all the news from the WNBA. Want more insight from Pit Row? Check out the Green, White, and Checkered podcast where they give their insight on everything happening on and off the track. Need your gambling fix? We've got you there. Dan Hancock and Gotham Gambling will help you cover the spread with the Golden Ticket Show. Football more your style? Explore the waters of NFL DFS with DFS Deep Dive with Brian Craighead and Jordan Kernan each week. More into the science portion of the game? The Professor John Bush and Dennis Michelson take you into their science lab and dissect your week in the data lab. Need to know who to start last minute? The network's flagship show, For Fantasy's Sake, is here in a pinch. The fellas come to you live every football Sunday from 10 to 11:30 Central with the week's best DFS, gambling, and lineup advice. And wrap up your Sundays with Joe Winkle and Nick Brinks as they come to you live with educated ignorance, looking at all the day's action. Not enough football on Sunday? Not a problem. Kick your feet up at lunch on Monday and slip into the football lounge with Mark and Dan while they look at the week that was in news, notes, and more. For frequency's sake, you know what we mean.
Alrighty, we are back. Dylan Fink wants to know, in this championship, full PPR, different leagues. First one is one flex, Madison or Admir Abdullah. Flip a coin because you never know which guy's going to get the. Madison seems to get the goal line carries.
He's more likely to get the touchdowns.
Yeah, so Madison, I guess.
Yeah, it's a sincere McCormick game.
Right? He's on the IR, but that's a solid take. Dylan Lobb. And then he wants to pick one, Miami's defense or Philly's defense. Say it with your chest over there.
Miami, probably. I'm thinking.
Yeah, give me Miami. Even though it's a backup quarterback and CD's out, they still have some kind of weapon.
Yeah. And then Tampa Bay or Buffalo. I'll go Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo. I think that game is going to be an ugly. Yeah, I was telling DJ before the show, I think Aaron Rodgers gets his 500th touchdown, and then they just phone it in.
How far? He's one away?
Yeah, one away. I think he gets it to Devontae, and then they just focus on run the rest of the day.
Yeah.
It's 50 degrees with 15-mile-an-hour winds going from pushing in the rain. They're not going to do much. I think this give you a game where we see like the Bills just go up 21 and just run the ball with James Cook for the second half.
Yeah, it's probably.
I don't even know if James Cook would play in the second half if the Ty Johnson game.
See Keon Coleman in the backfield.
All right, we got to go in the way back machine here. So must have played on an NFL team where Mike Shanahan was the head coach. So Denver, Washington. So like Terrell Davis, Clinton Portis, John Elway.
I mean, quarterback, obviously, Tebow. No. 1970 to 2024. Yeah.
You're not picking Kirko Chains?
Was he actually there?
2013, right?
But I mean, it would have only been that season, right?
Yeah, he had the greatest fantasy football season of all time.
What'd you say? Not you, Danny.
It's only while he's coaching.
Yeah.
Another wide receiver.
About Terrell Davis.
Yeah, I'm thinking Terrell Davis and Clinton Portis in there.
Because he had 2,000 yards one year, didn't he?
Yeah, Clinton Portis was awesome. And
yeah, you could do both, but one in the flex, one in the...
I'm just trying to think who might have been a good like Santana Moss. Ed McCaffrey.
Be Santana Moss, right?
Rod Smith.
It was only 3 seasons, though.
For who? Santana Moss?
Yeah, I think it's a 201 to 204. Oh, never mind. 13 seasons. Yeah. I'm fine with that.
I'm going to submit this and then go to an easier one where it wasn't 19 fucking 30.
Yeah.
All right, Santana
this
Moss was
was
terrible.
before I was born.
Rod Smith.
I
and
was
McCaffrey.
right. Ha!
Was it? I mean, Mike Shanahan's entire career wasn't before you were born, was it?
I mean, I wasn't, really conscious of football head coaches when I was 5, but yeah.
All right. Must have played for the Eagles or the Chiefs. Stats will only be applied while on the Eagles or Chiefs roster.
Well, you got-
Obviously, the quarterback's Nick Foles.
yeah, I'll say that's safe. It's also safe.
LaShawn McCoy at running back. Jamal Charles.
Jamal Charles.
Yeah, I was thinking Charles.
Yeah.
Would you go T.O. for wide receiver?
Would T.O.'s wide receiver while with the Eagles be better than Tyreek's with the Chiefs? That's where I was battling. Because he was only in Philly for a couple years.
It's probably Tyreek. T.O. I think you got to go Tyreek.
And then flex could be like Tony Gonzalez, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that's a safe bet.
Like or Deshaun Jackson. Was Deshaun Jackson's career better than Tony Gonzalez?
I don't want to say yes to that. Fantasy-wise, probably.
Let's just go Deshaun Jackson. Then we can say we were wrong. Was not Deshaun Jackson, not even close, apparently. All right, I don't know who it was Teagon, but I don't know who Harold Carmichael is. So
I don't recognize. It was Donovan.
and McNabb with more fantasy points than Mahomes.
Probably just because of years he played.
Yeah, and it's really close.
Yeah.
We'll do this one again week 2 next year. All right. Well, let's go to another commercial. Danny, what are you laughing at?
The thought of, like, in that scenario, just imagine Holmes has 2 negative fantasy point games in a row. It doesn't put up like 20 in the last
I
2
would
weeks.
cry.
It's like by 1 point. He just
Well, didn't you guys do one earlier this year where teammates of Travis Kelce and Alex Smith was quarterback?
Yeah, because it was their whole career. It wasn't just like while they were teammates with Kelsey.
Yeah. I think I've played that one before, so I can't even go back and click on it. Oh, I didn't. Let's see if it's changed now. Who was the tight end? Like Anthony Fasano?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
And then Lev Bell and Shady?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that.
Oh, it's still
It's still Alex Smith by like 100 points.
So my guess is this probably like didn't update to current because Mahomes' points were higher on the last one, right? 2154.
Mm-hmm.
Let's ignore that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lame. All right.
Serving the Quad Cities area since 1973. And with over 50 years of excellence on their track record, you'll see why it's so easy to trust their experts when it comes to all of your home improvement projects. This family-owned business has you covered on all your needs. Protect your home or building from the elements today and get great roof repair services. Need new windows? No problem. Durham Remodeling can upgrade your windows and doors. Whether you want to upgrade the little details in your home or office, or want to tear a room down and start fresh, the expert contractors at Durham Remodeling have your back. Even the smallest changes can completely transform your space. Ready to start entertaining your friends for backyard barbecues? Durham Remodeling will help you plan, design, and build your deck and patio for the perfect outdoor space. Durham Remodeling's work is 100% guaranteed, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best service around. Call 309-786-6715 today for your free estimate for all your roofing, siding, flooring, windows, and painting needs. That's Durham Remodeling, 309-786-6715.
Alrighty, we are back. Before the Ultimate Roster game, we took a look back. So let's take a look forward here, guys. In your fantasy league, I know Danny's trading the pick, but Danny, you're forced to make the pick. Who are you taking 1-1 next year?
I'm forfeiting the league. If I had to take anyone, I'm going to go Jamar Chase. That's going to be mine. I think Jefferson obviously is a good pick, but we're going to see a rookie quarterback next year, essentially. In McCarthy. McCaffrey's going to be coming off an injury, and we don't really know what's going to be going on with that team. And I've gotten to the point I'm never taking Niners players anymore because you don't know who's getting the ball. And that's really it. I think it's a 3-man race. It just depends on who you want. Like, and then you can snag Burrow later on as the 4th quarterback because obviously Mahomes, Lamar, and Allen are going to go before him. So you can, get an extra round of value out before you have to get your quarterback.
I'm going to go with Jefferson. If I have number 1 pick, I'm going to pick my guy.
That's fair. At the end of the day, fantasy is all about owning your guys, right?
I don't want to cheer against my guy. I want to cheer for him.
Dude, isn't that devastating? You're like in a situation where
I always say I'll take a team win over a fantasy win, but I don't know how true that is.
I never forget, like, the one year I drafted Kelsey, and I decided I had a rule: I never bet anything on the guys I have in fantasy, because then if they lose and lose my bet, then it's gonna piss me off even more. And I broke the rule. I bet Kelsey to get, like, I didn't bet a touchdown, I didn't bet his receptions, I bet his yards. And he had 4 catches for 6 yards and 3 touchdowns.
It was 4 touchdowns because it was the Raiders game.
That game. And I didn't know how to feel because I lost like $50 on it, but I won my fantasy thing. And then I realized it wasn't even like my big time fantasy. It was like a $50 to the winner. And I was so pissed because I was already in last place because he sucked all year.
That's fantastic. I feel like the right answer is probably Chase or Jefferson. But I feel like I'm feeling a little froggy with Jahmyr Gibbs. So
I don't hate that either.
I think Jahmyr Gibbs, if I was drafting tomorrow, I think I would go that way. So looking at 2025 again, who do we think is going to be the number 1 scoring quarterback in 2025? Not who you're drafting first, but who do we think is going to be? And it's not J.J. McCarthy, so don't say it. I'm
not going to say that. There's a chance that Darnold's still.
There is.
I don't know.
I think it is, but like I think Darnold could be on a slightly better path than what Geno's on. Is the best way I could put it. Like I think
people wrote him off.
Okay, year 1, great. Like he worked with a great quarterback-minded coach that's helped him. Cool. Year 2, he's gonna show a lot more signs of why he's been floating around the league. Year 3, if he stays for year 3, he's going to be like what Geno is doing now. The only difference is you have arguably the greatest wide receiver in the last 5 years on your team versus, DK and JSN versus Jefferson.
Yeah.
You switch the wide receivers, I think
Jordan Addison's pretty good too.
Right, but like that's what I'm saying. Like if you switch Geno and Darnold and you gave Geno Justin Jefferson and Addison versus giving Darnold JSN and Metcalf, who would have the better season?
Just huck it up.
Yeah.
Okay,
he's down there somewhere.
Yeah. QB1. I'm going to go Jaden Daniels. Even though you talk about second slump.
I think that's a solid pick. I think it's hard to argue against
Ooh.
Josh Allen. So especially in that division, who knows how good the other teams are. So
I'm just going contrarian with something different.
I don't feel like that's a bad opinion. He gives you the rushing upside too.
Yeah.
Danny?
I don't want to go chalk. Fuck it. Bryce Young. No, I'm kidding. Hot take. You can come back. Bryce Young will be top 10 next year. Calling it now.
Writing it down.
All right. Yeah, I know. You're going to fucking remind me on that one. You're going to put it in the group chat too. Make everyone laugh at me. I'll go
clip it and
Burrow.
throw it on TikTok.
I'm gonna double down and I'll say Burrow. I think they're gonna get a new offensive coordinator, and I think now that they have, I think what makes Burrow so good is they had a legit running attack with Mixon. Yeah. And if Chase Brown for sure is their number one guy next year, then if they can re-sign T, then it's going to make them even deadlier. Shavas looked great. Gesicki looks great. If they can get an offensive line around him, as long as his defense is this bad, he's going to be forced to throw. And we're going to see more 400-yard games from him.
And a loss.
Alrighty, who is our running back one in 2025? I feel like I have to say Jahmyr Gibbs because I don't want the curse of 1-1 coming at me.
Oh. I'll go with a long shot. I'll go Bucky Irving.
I was thinking that too. I was really thinking that too, but
it's hard to argue against Saquon. It's hard to argue against Bijan. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Bijan would be a good go next year as well.
Don't trust that offense.
If he stays healthy, I'll say Kenneth Walker.
I'll be interested to see what they look like in a game today where they actually have to play offense. They're not up by 40 because their defense gets 2 pick sixes.
Yeah.
That's the one thing is like everybody's like, oh, well, so-and-so with Penix and everything like that. Well, you don't know because they had just a really strange game last week.
It's one of the it's a weird thing because they played arguably the worst team in football last week. They're playing one of the worst pass defenses this week. And then I think they end with Carolina, whose pass defense is average, but their run defense is terrible. So he'll look promising, but when they start next year and they have to actually play him against
they might have a playoff game too, brother.
Yeah, and their playoff game would be Detroit, which is another bad passing team. No, wait, it wouldn't be Detroit. It'd be
the Eagles.
Yeah.
Another mid-level passing team.
No, because they'd win the division, so they'd be the 4, so they'd play the 5, so it'd be the Vikings or the Lions.
They'd be the Vikings, another bad pass defense.
Well, maybe. Are we eliminating the Vikings?
That one, you know what? If it's that one, that would be the real test because he did not get pressured. He's probably not going to get a lot of pressure this week. The Vikings are the best team at getting to the backfield.
Hey, the Vikings are going to win the division, brother.
No.
I would like to believe, but I've been disappointed so many times. I know otherwise.
As long as next week's game doesn't come down to a game-winning field goal, I think it'll be fine.
Listen, I just wanted to point out, what was it, week 6 when they played before, and everyone had Vikings, and the Lions were the underdog, and I hammered first quarter spread, first half spread, spread of the game, money line, and I put 20 units on it, and that's the only reason I'm up this year on football. Is I've just pettily been betting the Lions to cover the spread, and then betting against.
No reason they were dogs.
Also,
where's the game next week at?
It's in Detroit, right?
I think so. Yeah. I'm verified.
Also, fun little fact: if you had bet $100 on whatever team plays the Lions, if you had bet them to not cover the spread the next week, and you put $100 on it every single week this year, you would have made $2,800 just off $100 bets.
My first bet with my money I got from Fanatics was when Minnesota played at the Rams on that Thursday night game, and they were favored by 3.5. I throttled it to the Rams minus 5.5. So that was a nice little win there.
We won't talk about face mask on here.
Yeah. Dude, so I was watching the game on my phone, and I was also doing something else. So I was just watching that little tiny box, and so all I see is like it looked like he had him inside the thing. So I'm like, well, it's at very least a horse collar there. Like I had no idea that it was such a blatant like missed call.
But also, don't be down with that much time left in the game, and there's no problem.
For sure. Alrighty, and then I guess you guys have both kind of answered who you think will be wide receiver one in 2025 with
it's
Jefferson.
Akine.
I'm gonna stick with the LSU, and I'm gonna go Brian Thomas Jr.
Don't
That's
hate
gonna
it.
be my wide receiver one in 2025.
I thought you were gonna say Jalen. I thought you were gonna say Jalen Polk for a second. I was about to get excited.
And who's your guys' tight end one for 2025?
Jonnu Smith.
Maybe.
Dude, we've won like $500 this year off Jonnu Smith, Nick Westbrook, Akine touchdown parlays. No, I'm gonna say it's gonna be Bowers.
It's hard to argue against him.
Yeah, as much as I think it's gonna be a bad year, actually no, I'm lying. I'll say Trey McBride. I think they'll focus more on getting him in the end zone next year.
You would think.
Yeah.
Oh. Bowers is just, it's hard to argue against the production he's done this season.
I'll go with a Sam Laporte to bounce back.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason that offense is going to be high powered.
The problem with the Lions is, like, you would think, like, yeah, this is a Sam Laporta game, and then it's Dan Skipper. like that's the problem, is you don't know what it's gonna do. It's like with the Celtics, you don't know what he's gonna do each week. Like, you don't know what they're gonna do.
Laporta got us on the National Tight End Day, so
craziest bet I've ever hit in my life, because I made that 2 minutes before the show without any research. Zero research, just gut check.
Laporta, Kelsey, and I don't remember who else it was. Theo?
Otten,
yeah, that's
it's
right.
pinned on my Twitter still. Like 30,000 engagements. Like, I'm not taking that down.
And who's going to be kicker one next year? Why is it going to be Brandon Aubrey?
Bet is over for the longest field goal every game.
It's it's gonna be Ethan Evans, my boy. He kicked his first career field goal yesterday for some reason. I don't know why they had him kick a field goal and then put another kicker in for the next field goal.
Wait, was that the punter from the Rams?
Yeah, he kicked a 40-yard field goal, and then they made him go back to being the holder and put an actual field goal kicker in. Like, I was so confused. I'm not even watching the game. I'm about to take a shower. I get a notification that Ethan Evans 40-yard field goal. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, he didn't kick a field goal in college either. Like, he's never kicked a field goal before. They made him kick a field goal. And he made it. And I was like, okay, so I guess he's the kicker now, because he never does kickoffs, never does field goals. And they had him kicking off every time. They had him kick a field goal, and then they put another kicker in.
Have we confirmed that wasn't like a glitch in your system?
I gotta double check, because it's, Action Network, and they're
Depends on the day.
I mean, I believe you.
No, okay, so yeah, there was a glitch, because it said Cardi kicked the field goals. But yeah, I was confused from it. I was like, what the fuck? Ethan, the punter for the Rams, is from my hometown. He's like the first kid ever to get drafted in the pros.
You think Justin Tucker's done?
I don't think
he messed with the devil black magic last year.
I don't think he's I don't think he'll be back to where he was, but I think he's not going to be as bad as this year.
Yeah.
What y'all think?
Small hands.
The fake slides.
I was about to say, as a Wake Forest Demon Deacon fan, fuck Kitty Pickett.
I mean, he's not terrible.
She only asked that to piss me off. That's my fiance. She only asked that to piss me off because she knows how much I hate Kenny Pickett.
What's the weather like in that game?
I know we said it's like 10-mile-an-hour winds left to right, and it's sitting in the 60s.
Is that in Philly?
Yeah.
Most people have like places they go in their weather app in their phone. I just have NFL cities.
Yep. That's how it is.
All right, let's head to commercial.
I was so used to doing that for baseball. I wasn't paying attention, and I started doing that. Like I'll see like I don't use Action Network from time to time where like they'll show like, oh, it's a high wind game, take the under, and I'll look and it's like, okay, but it's played in the Superdome. So like, why am I taking the under here on a game in the dome because it's going to be windy?
For some reason, the only so I have like St. Louis because we go to St. Louis, we go to baseball games, whatever. But then I have Chicago, Philadelphia, Kansas City, East Rutherford, Miami, Green Bay, Tampa, Foxborough, Baltimore, San Francisco, Washington, Denver, Cincinnati, Orchard Park, Nashville. Then I have the actual just the stadium where the Bills play, apparently.
So
I think
Apple just thinks you have Asperger's and you really love the weather. That's what that is, I think.
Maybe. All right, let's go to commercial, then we'll let you guys talk bets.
When you're working to achieve your financial goals, it helps to have some trusted guidance along the way. Jared Zook with Country Financial is here to help you identify your goals and provide more support to work through any changes life may bring. As both a financial advisor of Country Trust Bank and registered representative of Country Capital Management Company, Jared can help you plan for your financial future. As a Country Financial insurance agent, he's prepared to help you with insurance options to protect the people and the things that matter most. Jared is there to support you as you plan for the future and to help you worry less and live more. Jared is licensed to insure in Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Iowa, Indiana, Kansas, Missouri, and Tennessee. Call Jared today at 217-698-0599 or find him on Facebook at Jared Zook Financial Representative and tell him For Frequency's Sake sent you.
DJ, next week I'm gonna do a Jared Zook parlay, and their first names have to start with a J or a Z. Yeah, so I don't have much today. I've said it to you guys multiple times. This is probably the ugliest day of football I've seen in my life. But we have two bets I'm rocking with, and then we have our parlay. So I'm taking the under in the Buffalo game. We got cold weather, windy day, rainy, ugly weather. We're gonna see the Bills are just probably gonna try to methodically go down the field, but I just don't. I think the Jets get the 500 touchdown for Rodgers, and they just kind of phone it in and go to the run game. I think it's gonna be more run action today, so I'm taking that one. And then my other bet today is Terry McLaurin anytime touchdown. McLaurin is one touchdown away from getting the career touchdown mark for a season, breaking the record in Washington. I think this is a great matchup for him. He's been the go-to guy. He'll still stay the go-to guy. I think it's going to be a McLaurin game. The main reason I really took this is every book has this at minus odds except FanDuel. FanDuel has it at plus 110. Everything else has it around minus 120, minus 130. So the value on that alone is the main reason I took it. And then we have this is my Betalytics parlay of the day. It is gross, but Betalytics loves it, so I love it. Carolina Panthers, Buccaneers game total over 47.5. Bryce Young over 218 passing yards. Adam Thielen to get 6 receptions, and Payne Durham to score a touchdown. Gross. The odds on that with a boost on FanDuel, the odds of that are plus 1,300. Time for for the theme parlay this week, we did incentives. Every one of these players has some kind of incentive to get to the end zone this week. The 4 we picked for this, we have Terry McLaurin in there for tonight. We have everyone else is at 1 p.m. today, so we're gonna be nervously sweating this one out for 6 hours. We have Devontae Adams. He's caught Rodgers' 200, 300, and 400th career passing touchdown. He's said he wants to catch the 500th. Rodgers has even said he wants him to catch the 500th. So I'm going to take him at plus money to get that 500th touchdown pass, or at least score one today. He's been getting more targets lately. Mike Evans is like 3 touchdowns away from an incentive. He has torched the Panthers in the last couple of games. He had like 200-something yards last game against them. They're not. J.C. Horn is listed as questionable, which is going to make it harder for them to stop him if he's not playing. So I'll take Mike Evans for a touchdown. Terry, and then we have Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers, he's not closing in on the touchdown mark, but he's closing in on the receptions and receiving yards to break the rookie record. So I'm going to believe he's going to get in the end zone here against a team that plays man defense terribly. And Aiden O'Connell seems to only throw to 2 people, and that's Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers. So that is plus with a boost on DraftKings, it's plus 2,800. Jordan, I know you're watching. Don't put your life savings on this. I know, but I know you will. You can also round robin each of these. $1 on each round robin, you'd spend $6, and you could potentially come out with about $100 on the round robin if this hits as well.
Love that. I'm on McLaurin.
How much you got for me, Cheese?
McLaurin touchdown, just incentives, and he's just been a fiend the whole year. I mean, they're going to find someone in the end zone. They're going to find McLaurin. Let's see what else I got. I'm on Carolina, Tampa Bay over 47.5. And then I'm on Dallas. What are they playing? Dallas Eagles, longest field goal over 48.5. This bet has made me so much money because Arbry, he's going to hit a 50-plus yarder every game.
I like that. My only worry with that one is I'm just looking at.
I didn't even look at weather.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, and it was like 15-mile-an-hour winds going left to right, and that's my only concern with that one.
It's an auto bet for
Brandon Aubrey's been. Yeah, he's been. You want to run that the McLaurin one as a collab? Because I'll post it.
Yep, I'll do that. And then I got gross Malik Neighbors under 21.5 longest reception. He hasn't hit it, and hasn't hit it 6 of last. Sorry, he hasn't hit 7 of the last 10. And I just don't trust that offense at all. And I hate betting on unders, but I'll bet the unders on Giants offense.
Oh yeah, like that's an auto bet.
I just don't trust it.
Well, and I think the only thing like I worry, because I always, as much as like, quarterbacks like that are just, horrendous enough that you have to just take against them.
Yeah.
At any point is the fact that I'm trying to like the Colts defense is just horrendous to the pass game.
Yeah.
So it's just more you have to look at the matchups. But no, I like that. I don't think they're trying to find him. I think they're going to try to rest him as much as possible.
This is like the week of you bet unders, and it's so hard to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm taking Dallas plus 7.5 because Kenny Pickett.
Y'all are gonna give me a goddamn stroke. I swear to God.
That's what I wrote down for the reason. Dallas plus 7.5. Kenny Pickett.
Just to piss Danny off.
Danny, I think next year, this is based off what you were saying, next year we could do a Jared Zook parlay, but we have to do it from like a team of a state he covers. Like he insures.
I gotcha.
So like the Bears.
We could do it on a
whatever.
no sweat bet, so we have insurance if it loses.
Hey, look at that.
Oh God, that was corny.
It was so funny. All right, I'm gonna pick a prop from each game. You guys tell me, over under, and I'm gonna be that guy because I'm gonna pick guys for my fantasy championship. So
I figured that's what you normally do.
Garrett Wilson over under 52.5 receiving yards.
Under.
Yep, I'd agree with that.
Let's see. Nobody in this game in my fantasy championship, but we'll pick somebody. Nick Westbrook-Akine over under 27.5 receiving yards.
Under. I hate to say it. Under.
Yeah, I can't argue.
This is the Calvin Ridley revenge game, if I've ever seen one.
If it's a thing.
Yeah, if it's a thing. He'll get like 8 catches for 20 yards in the first half, and then they'll forget he's there, and they'll throw it to Tyjae Spears 50 times.
Kendre Miller over under 49.5 rushing yards.
Under.
I'll go over. I don't know if he doesn't have anyone to throw to. Marquez MBS is most likely out again, I think. I don't know if they've listed it yet.
No,
he's
active. He's active.
He's not getting much touches though. Spencer Rattler can't throw it that deep.
He can't throw it.
Bingo.
They dropped so many passes versus the Packers.
Yeah,
Bucky Irving over under 89.5 rushing yards.
I'll go over. I think this is a good matchup for that with how bad the Panthers' run defense has been.
See, he could just pop off a 60-yarder pretty easily, so yeah. I'd agree with the over.
A.J. Brown over under 72.5 receiving yards.
Seems high.
Yeah, but that's the one target Kenny Pickett throws to is his wide receiver ones. I'm going to say over because I don't think Kenny Pickett's going to go past the second read. It's going to go to Devontae or it's going to go to – yeah. I could spend 2 hours talking about how much I hate him. But, he's not going past the second read. So, AJ probably.
So you're taking Pickett over yards then?
No, I didn't say that. I'm just saying I'm taking Listen, my greatest bet of all time, the only time I've ever praised Kenny Pickett was I took his under on pass plus rush yards because I didn't think he was going to run the ball at all. And it was 211.5. He had 212 pass yards. And on the last play of the game, he ran the ball backwards 6 yards and then took a knee. That's the only time I've been happy of a Kenny Pickett play.
Over under 174 pass yards for Kenny Pickett.
Over. Smash the over. I would lead over, legitimately, as much as that hurts.
Betalytics can tell me it has a 100% chance of catching it.
Does that mean you'd take the under on that there, Danny?
No, I just wouldn't bet it. Like I
refuse.
Yeah, I have it set to where if I have to pick a game that has Kenny Pickett in it, I just block it from my list.
All right, let's go to commercial and then we'll finish out these games.
My name's Ryan Allison. I've spent over a decade immersed in the art of tattooing. Sharply honing my skills has materialized into a diverse and prestigious body of work. Each tattoo reflects my relentless pursuit of excellence, and every client I work with is a living embodiment of that unwavering commitment. I will gladly and wholeheartedly embrace your distinct vision.
Alrighty. How about Malik Neighbors over under 59.5 receiving yards?
Under.
I'd agree, even though that Colts defense is horrible. I just don't trust that offense.
Oof. These lines are gross.
Right, that's what I'm saying, bro. Normally I can usually if I look at something on Saturday night, I'm like, I can't bet anything. I'm like, you know what, let me go to sleep and I'll find something in the morning. I go in the morning and I look at it and I was like, oh, this is grosser than I thought last night.
Sleeping on it did not help.
Dude, it could be
what game do we think I'm looking at right now?
Don't give me a Raiders Saints. No, you already gave us Raiders Saints.
Let me look at the slate.
Miami, Cleveland.
Yeah, you gotta be. That's the only other one you haven't mentioned yet.
Jerry Jeudy over under 43.5 receiving yards.
Well, last week when I was saying anything about the Browns, it said under, so I'll give him an over.
Yeah, what was it? Who was it we talked about?
Jerome Ford.
We said Jerome Ford was gonna have a touchdown, 100 yards, and we didn't bet it. We were like, nah, we're not betting the Browns, and then he fucking went off. God, I just to be petty about Joe talking shit about beating the Panthers in Week 5. I kind of just want the Browns to win again this week.
Jaden Reed over under 53.5 receiving yards.
Over. I mean,
I'm not touching that.
I mean, I wouldn't touch it, but because I won't bet against the Vikings. But if you're a smart person,
it's more of you just don't know who he's going to throw to each time.
Yeah, that's true. I'll probably
Christian Watson over under 46.5 receiving yards.
Oh,
I'll take this way. I'll take any of their top 3 receivers to get a 75-yard game today.
Yeah,
that would be my best bet. No, I don't care. You could put money on all 3 of them or separate bets, and I would say you're likely to hit at least one of them.
In case anybody is wondering, in my fantasy championship, he's playing Jaden Reed and I'm playing Christian Watson.
Reed will just – what did he – he didn't have a big game last week, did he? Usually he's big, low. So I'll probably go off this week then.
Don't say that to me.
He will not have a single catch.
No, that's Christian Watson.
Yeah, I think the two things I'm not touching anymore in fantasy is Broncos running backs as long as Sean Payton is there and Green Bay Packer receivers.
Yeah, you just don't know who's going to do.
I thought Tucker Kraft was going to be the guaranteed lock steal of the year, and he didn't do shit for 4 weeks.
Reed had 3 catches for 76 yards last week.
Oh,
that's the thing is he'll have one catch for 80 yards, and that's it.
And Watson had 2 rushes for 23 yards and 1 target. Feed him. Oh, got to go to who's in my matchup here in this game. Give me 1 second here. Got to find him.
Maybe I like how this isn't even trying to get good lines. It's just he wants reassurance of his lineup.
Yep.
Yeah. Drake London over under 59.5 receiving yards.
Versus Washington. I'll go over.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't throw the ball to the other team like Kyle Pitts did, he'll go over.
It's not even reassurance, Danny. I literally have nobody else to play. So it's like,
Can we talk about how, in the span of 2 weeks, Kyle Pitts went from, his receptions line being at 5 to 2 in the span of 2 weeks because of how bad he played last week?
Well, it's just an epidemic with Kyle Pitts. I wish he was good.
Watch, he'll come and be the top tight end next year.
Right.
Johnny Smith comes and plays in a Falcons uniform for one more game and ruins my life.
Alrighty, and last game of the week. I don't have anybody in this game either, so gotta find one that's fun. Sam Laporta
score a touchdown.
Yeah. Sam Laporta over under 45.5 receiving yards.
I actually like that line, so I'm double checking something before I give my answer.
It's Kittle versus Laporta, so it's fun for us people.
49ers pretty good against tight ends? I'll go under just because I'm thinking they just cover tight ends. I'm pretty sure. I'll check.
Yeah, but when they played last year,
San
they
Francisco was
They
allowed
did
the
put up
third,
100
third
bomb.
fewest points. Third fewest points to opposing tight ends.
I'll go under. They'll just give it to Gibbs. Or
Both
Ahmad.
teams are really good against tight ends. But let's remember, last week, Jonnu had 62 against them. The week before that, Parkinson went over his line. Dawson Knox went off for 56. So last 3 of their last 4 games, teams that throw to their tight ends on the regular all went over their lines. And it's not like, let's be real, it's not like Laporta's running post routes. Or he's running curls and drag routes 90% of the time.
He'll probably get a touchdown in
Which
20
actually, I have an added bet I like. I mentioned it before in the parlay I was telling you guys about. Adam Thielen, his reception lines is plus money. I really like it. Or you could take it at 5 plus and add something to it. Thielen's run a slant, a go route, or not a go route, an out or an in or a curl over 50% of the times. When players are running any of those 4 routes, they have a 90% chance of catching the ball against Tampa Bay. They are literally playing a zone defense of we're going to let them catch it, but we're not going to let them run. So I'm going to take the over 5.5 receptions there as a straight bet.
You're going to make me place more bets, aren't you?
Yeah. I just want to say shout out to me sweating out all my future bets in the next week and a half because I have 2 left to go positive, and I need the Buccaneers to make the playoffs and the Buccaneers to win the South. I'm 1-1 on my other ones. I took McCaffrey's.
Well, if they win the South, they'll make the playoffs. So that's
exactly.
Like
well, I thought they were going to do better than 8-8 going into the last week of the season. But no, I took Derek Carr's under on passing yards, lock, and then I took McCaffrey's over 500 receiving yards, which was if he didn't play this season, I would have got a void. So fuck you, Christian McCaffrey.
Jordan needs help. He needs 2 running backs with Kamara and Walker out. Does he want Abdullah, Spears, Mike Boone, and Jeremy McNichols? I'm going to go Spears and Boone.
I was going to say, I don't think this is our league because I think I played Jordan last week and got beat.
Spears for sure. Abdullah, Mike Boone. Oh, boy.
Hey, Jordan, and I'll ask this to you too. Yeah, anybody remember that Monday night game against Green Bay where Mike Boone was the lead back, put up 4 fantasy points?
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Who the fuck is Mike Boone? Because they were showing props for him.
And I literally pulled that out of my fantasy brain there.
Right. I don't know. I don't know.
Here's the real
Mike
question.
Boone.
Do I start Keon Coleman or Wan'Dale Robinson to replace CeeDee Lamb?
That's Mike Boone, Vikings legend.
This is the guy I was telling you that's at the Vikings game today.
I'll give him
Johnny,
Vikings legend.
Gotta go Mike Boone.
Yeah, you might as well then. But Spears Boone.
All right, I got one for y'all because I have to beat Doug or else my season is ruined. My life is ruined. I gotta replace CD. I got Keon Coleman, Dobbs, and Wan'Dale Robinson.
Keon Coleman, Dobbs,
and Wan'Dale.
I go Robinson as much as I've been talking shit about the Giants. The thing is it a
I about
PPR?
fucking pulled a Doug there, dude. I was almost like, who the fuck is Dobbs? And then my brain pulled up Romeo Dobbs.
Actually, no, I think I'm playing Jordan in this one.
So Keon Coleman, Romeo Dobbs, and who was the third choice?
Wan'Dale.
I go Robinson. I mean, is it a PPR?
Yeah.
Keon Coleman.
That's probably the safe one.
All
What's
Kind of.
the score currently? What is your chance
Do you
to
need
win?
points or do you need
I am the projected score is he's projected to win by 8.
Ooh.
He's got Darnold, Taylor, Ford, Wilson, Hawkinson, Neighbors, and Juwan left.
Keon Coleman.
Yeah, I have Jacobs, Tajay. Yeah, I have Chris. Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, because I have Christian Watson too, but I'm sitting him. I started Odunze this week. I didn't even know that.
Boo.
Wait, shout out to our Grim Reaper League because our third place match DJ is Toilet Timeout versus Samming in your Laporta. We need like a best of video for the end of the season.
If you want to go through 17 weeks of tomfoolery and find the best of, I'm all for it.
It's just gonna be a video of the incident.
What about when we a couple weeks ago when we spent a half hour of Joe crying about last year's college football?
Oh, we didn't even do anything. We just kept playing replays of Joe bitching.
Joe's a Florida State fan.
Oof.
Yeah, and so
We spent the
first
last 85. Yeah, we spent the first 85 minutes of the show telling him how they weren't going to make the playoff.
And then they didn't, and he swore and swore and swore, and they had to put him in timeout because every time we put anything in the chat, in our group chat, he kept saying, "No, if it was the Florida State, they wouldn't let him do this." We had to be like, "All right, you're in timeout. Take a week off."
Hey, stand up for your team. That's what you need to do.
Oh, it was fantastic. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, I got a couple.
My
go
favorite
ahead.
Joe moment, I had to get this one, is still the saying, "Suck it, we're the best team in the NFL," after the Bears beat the Panthers. And then they went 1-9 in the next 10 games.
You got to live in that world of delusion.
Listen, in that time span, the Dolphins started sucking, the Bears started sucking, his Orlando Magic lost everyone on their team. He's a Cubs fan, so he got hit with the shit stick all at once.
I'd be bitter too.
No, I would be too. At least Illinois is good at basketball, kind of.
What was it like right after that was when they lost on the buzzer beater?
Yeah. Decided not to cover anybody on the. Don't even get me started on that.
NBA
All right.
trade just went down.
Really?
D'Lo got sent to the Nets.
We got Brock Bowers. We talked about this kind of incentive over under 5 receptions.
Yeah, easy over. His line's at like 7.
Zach Ertz needs 5 receptions to get a $250,000 bonus. Over under 5.
I don't think he gets it this week. Not this week, but next week.
Yeah.
Mike Evans over under 91 yards. Needs 91 yards a game to reach 1,000.
I mean, they're going to try to hook it to him.
What was it? I saw it a minute ago. His line against Carolina over his last 3 games. His last 6 games against Carolina, he's averaging 115.7. In his last 4 games, outside of the game he got hurt in the first quarter, he's had 120 or more, including a 207-yard game. Doug!
What's up, boys?
Well, if it isn't Samming in your Laporta.
It is.
And last one, we have Saquon over under 134 rushing yards. Needs 134 a game to pass Eric Dickerson.
So I got a hot take. I don't think he gets it this week. Next week, I'm taking his under. I think he gets like 100-something yards this game. He goes through the first half, gets it, and then they sit him the rest of the game to rest him for the playoffs.
You think they're going to rest him to not get the thing against the Giants?
No, what I'm saying is Like, I don't think he gets 134 this week.
Right?
I think he gets like maybe 100. I think they just run the shit out of him in the first half. He gets like 50 something yards, breaks the record against the Giants, and then they sit him the second half.
Gotcha.
That's why I'm taking his under, because his line will be at like 90 something yards, and unless they're losing, they're not going to play him.
That's fair.
Their division's locked up. They're only, and the third and fourth place team are nowhere near them, so they're the guaranteed 2 seed.
All right, let's go to commercial, and then we'll talk about some other stuff. Here we go.
Do you love everything sports? So do we. That's why we shop at Atomic Sports Cards and Collectibles. Atomic has everything you could ever want to blow up your collections. They have sports cards ranging from the 1980s to today, whether it's singles, wax packs, hangers, or boxes. They've got vintage hats, clothes, and collectibles from your favorite teams to widen your collection. Check out Atomic Sports Cards and Collectibles today at 102 4th Street West, Milan, Illinois.
I actually checked out Atomic Sports Cards and Collectibles yesterday, so swell place. All right. Of the Sunday Monday slate, so we're not going T. Higgins for wide receiver 1 this week. Who's going to be our QB1 this week?
Give me Goff.
Let me go Darnold.
Of course you did.
Jordan Love.
That's more realistic.
Running back 1?
Bucky.
I'll go Dowdle.
Give me Gibbs. Wide receiver 1?
See, you had the perfect opportunity to say Jacobs there and do all Packers players just to annoy.
I was gonna. Oh, I almost said Jacobs. Say wide receiver 1.
Nick Westbrook-Akine.
Justin Jefferson.
I think of Monroe.
Let's go Scary Terry.
And tight end 1.
Jalen Coker.
Bowers.
Give me George Kittle.
Bowers.
Keith Garrett wants to know, pick 1. Goff, Rodgers, Mac Jones, obviously. Oh, this might be sit 1.
Sit 1.
I will rank them exactly how you wrote them. So if you're starting 1, it's Goff. If you're starting 2, it's Goff and Rodgers.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say Mac Jones played yesterday, so if you still have him and you're kind of out of luck.
Mac Jones didn't play yesterday.
I'm thinking he's still in the Patriots. I'm stupid.
Jeez, I'm gonna start calling you Doug.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I keep up with the Jacksonville Jaguars and their wide receiver 6, who's now their wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
The only player in their starting lineups that has played every game is the kicker, and even he almost missed a game.
And here's the hardest question of the day for Cheese here. What game that doesn't involve your team are you watching today?
Oh.
The Minnesota Timberwolves versus San Antonio Spurs. That's what
Correct.
Doug, there's not some.
If I had to choose a noon game.
I'm watching Cameron Brink highlights for 6 hours.
I was going to say, Doug's got to find some women's basketball to watch Sunday.
Notre Dame women are playing right now, actually.
Doug's watching Saudi Arabian Women's Professional Basketball League.
Unrivaled starts in like 2 weeks.
I'll go listen to this. Bucks Panthers.
I like that.
I think that's gonna be a good game.
I get to see Adam Thielen. Gotta watch Bucky Irving. That might just be the best.
I can't wait for Red Zone to have one game on the whole game because no one's going to be near the end zone. It's just going to play whichever game's at the 50-yard line.
No touchdowns. Brees.
I'll go Brees. I think it's going to be a run game plan.
I'll go Spears.
I will also say
Cowards. Oh, I thought you were going to say Spears.
I don't think either answer is a bad answer.
No, I think yeah.
I think Spears has. I think Brees is a safe play. I think Spears. You could get 5 points, could get 20.
All right. Anything you boys want to add before Doug takes us home today?
Check out me. Check out me and Betting Cheese on Moneyline Go. It's the top place with all the top. It's a top marketplace with all the top cappers. Get access to over 100 cappers bets for free, and get all our VIP access sent directly to your phones at moneylinego.com.
I want to know what helmets Cheese has on his display back there.
Hawkeyes, Vikings, and then Cal University. My name's Cal.
Right.
So it says my name on the hat.
That's fair. Are they just generic helmets, no autographs?
No autographs yet.
Gotcha. No, yeah, I like that.
He's got to find a player at California worthy enough of an autograph.
Quinn Schulte from Hawkeyes, but that's a family friend, so their safety. Hopefully, NFL next year.
Yeah, that's fair. If you want, I can go stalk Kate Martin and at the Bettendorf Y and get her autograph for you.
Well, I got the Caitlin Clark cereal box.
You fucking Midwesterners.
Hey.
Hey, I have the Kelsey brothers cereal box, and like a few years ago they did Patrick Mahomes cereal. And if you put the boxes together, it was a mural of him, and I have all the boxes.
I saw that eye roll, Doug.
Yeah. And we know what he does with those boxes every night.
I got my nice Chiefs cup
He
here.
puts his wife to bed, and then he goes and kisses the mural before going to bed.
That's exactly what happens.
Instead of kissing my kids before bedtime, I kiss my Super Bowl ring.
He goes and reads it a bedtime story. Goes when he leaves, he just looks at his kids like, "All right, bye," and just goes right to bed.
Well, I mean, he doesn't know how to read, so that's
Wow.
they read to him.
Facts.
All right, so we want to thank everybody
So.
who's tuned in. So I gotta get him one of those every show that I'm on. All right, so we want to thank everybody who has tuned in this year. So all of our viewers, everyone who has took the time to like our page, share our posts, and ask questions each week. Carl Durham and Durham Remodeling, Ryan Allison and Ryan Allison Tattoo, Jared Zook and Jared Zook Country Financial, BK Kluger and Clint's Draft House, David Lieb and A Cut Above, Tim Kavanaugh and Kavanaugh's Hilltop Bar and Grill, everyone who participated and donated to the Toys for Tots Leagues, our team of Joe Winkle, Nick Brinks, Dan Hancock, Chris Zach, Nick Bull, Dan Vasco, Mark Espen, Sam Odiemi, Chris Steele, Aaron Herman, Jordan Kernan, the Green White Checkered Crew, Brian Craighead, John Bush, and Dennis Michelson. And also not to forget all of our wives, girlfriends, and other assorted females who allow us to do this every week, to do this nonsense.
Don't forget fiancés.
Females, fiancés, yes.
Two of those exist.
Yes.
Danny's engaged, and Andrew from the
And
Green
Joe
White
got
Checker podcast.
engaged to Caleb Williams.
Oh,
last
Joe
week.
got engaged. So that's three fiancés.
Yeah.
Yes.
I told Joe I was wishing on the show because I was gonna say I was surprised he didn't propose to Caleb Williams first.
We laugh, but Joe's going to be married before Danny.
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
100%.
Joe might be married by my birthday at the end of next month.
Joe's gonna get married on a Sunday. He's gonna watch the Bears double doink a field goal.
Yeah.
Poor Joe's not going to pay attention to the NFL schedule, and he's going to get married like on a day where the Bears play at noon and the Dolphins play at 3.
Joe has got the worst fandom luck this year. Why did I turn sideways? I don't know.
Speaking of Joe Lella wants to know in his shit bowl, in his flex, should he start ETN, Xavier Legette, Jalen Coker, Mike Boone, or Jesus Christ, dude? No wonder you're in the last place game. Look at all those Panthers.
Oh my god, that's rough. Oh my god. Go Legette.
Mike Boone. Mike Boone.
Leggett or Coker. Leggett's questionable, so I would say Coker. What's the punishment?
What's the punishment, Joe? We got to know the punishment.
Just brutal.
What's the punishment, man? We got to know.
Oh, that's not a great. Those are tough players to choose.
I saw Mike Boone and thought he was joking at first.
Leggett, it is. But Joe, who is? What's your punishment? We need to know. I can think of a good punishment for you.
Watch the noon slate.
Listen to DJ talk about the Chiefs for 6 hours.
You're forced to watch the noon slate with the Burger King Whopper song playing in the background.
It's not a tumor; it's just the Burger King. He will be subjected to a punishment. Dude, that's fantastic. That is a fantastic punishment.
Dude, are we gonna
keep in mind that I'm fat in their dicks? I love this.
There better be at least two crowd.
So you need to send us a copy of these.
Yeah, we need to.
Yes, hey Joe, if you no matter who finishes last in your league, we will buy a copy of this calendar.
we have to see this.
Are we gonna start doing punishments?
We'll put it up behind Joe. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Are we gonna do if we gonna do punishment next year?
Yes, I think in the staff league next year we should have a weekly punishment. Whoever's in last each week and gets a punishment.
I think if it's Joe, his punishment should be he has to go to a Bears game wearing a Vikings jersey.
Oh,
they're not even playing the Vikings; just shows up in a Vikings jersey.
There's one at the Packers Saints game.
Not even like a Jefferson of a Darnold. It needs to be like a Johnny Munt or something like that. Like
Josh Oliver.
Yeah, no, it'd be perfect that he could wear an Andrew Van Ginkel jersey. At least a former Dolphin.
Joe is subjected to having to watch the Cleveland Browns and only the Browns for a year.
Or we could have Joe just watch on a 6-hour stream of Derrick Rose tearing his ACL.
Oh.
I guess he's not a Bulls fan, so
now you're trying to hurt me.
Yeah. But we got to play Arms of an Angel and not get copyrighted on it.
Dude, I'm just swear that was the funniest thing I've ever done on this show. On any show, was making a funeral take for every playoff team in the NFL with Arms of an Angel playing behind it.
It was funny.
And it got us copyrighted.
Joe's also starting Bryce Young. So
right. If you're starting Young, then I would say Leggett. Because if he's not throwing he's throwing to Leggett.
Mike Boone's going to be awesome today. He's going to lose this game, and one of his teammates or one of his league mates going to make him take like a boudoir photo with a Mike Boone jersey on. Fantastic. All right. Anybody got anything to add? We have definitely digressed. Not as much as we digressed on our draft show that began the For Fantasy Sake season, but yeah.
No.
I think that's it.
All right. Well, good luck in your matchups, especially your championship games. Joe, I hope you I don't know what to hope for you because, I mean.
Kind of want to
Joe, I miss you.
Yeah, Joe Winkle, everybody misses you. I don't know if do you miss Joe Winkle or Joe Layla? I'm kind of confused now. Are you in this league with Joe Layla?
Oh, I wish. I would, yeah.
Danny's like, I need a calendar of me.
Yeah.
It's got a good outfit idea.
That was my Christmas present to Lydia. What do you mean?
Oh, jeez.
I was thinking a perfect white elephant gift would just be like, just a calendar, 12 months of just like grilling, but only wearing an apron with like very strategically placed like spatulas and meat trays and stuff like that. That's actually what Doug's got behind him. That's why he's sideways, so nobody sees it. To reiterate what Doug said when he came on, thank you for everybody who's joined us through the 17 weeks, even the weeks that, Danny had to pinch hit with cheese last week, and they had a good time. So
it was our best show of the year.
Yeah, the best show of the year was like you and Nick Brinks and Joe. That was a great one.
Oh, we just argued for an hour?
Yeah. We will we'll get some stuff going during the playoffs and but we are signing off for the 2024 season of For Fantasy's Sake. So thanks for joining us.
This has been a For Frequency's Sake Podcast Network production. For more great content, subscribe to For Frequency's Sake on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.